Hello and welcome into the Week 6 edition of the Commissioner's Corner in the League of Extraordinary Salesmen. The 49ers got a much needed win in Seattle on Thursday night, 36-24, to bounce back in a big way, while the Jets lost in disappointing fashion, 23-20 to the Bills. A lot of flags thrown, which subsequently led to them to trade for the Davante Adams, and they now have Alan Lazard, Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers. They had Randall Cobb last year. I mean, holy smokes. Who else are the Packers they going to sign? We already saw something from potentially Eddie Lacy coming back, but what a joke. That being said, a congratulations goes out once again to Jeff with a 146.3 to 123.45 victory over Val. Val actually did have a solid week, but Jeff once again sits clearly atop the league standings. Now, with that, let's take a look at our worst to first segment brought to you by Dolan.
What's up, y'all? I've been in a conference all day and get to come home to this lovely Quality Inn in Riverside. So I figured, just as a way of saying congrats to the top scorer this week, I'd give you just a custom tour of my digs. So hold on. All right, here we go. Check me out. Seems pretty fitting for that abysmal performance this week. I can't promise it's going to get any better, but I can promise that I'm getting the hell out of Riverside tomorrow, and I'd highly recommend that you don't ever visit and you don't ever stay at the Quality Inn. So yeah, good luck to everybody else. My team really sucks. Good night.
Thank you, Dolan. We know you're out of town on business, so glad you could put that together with such short notice. With that, let's take a look at some other matchups from around the league. It wasn't Dick Tracy, but Tyrone Tracy coming up big to help give Jesse a much-needed 107.35 to 96.1 victory over Goody. Nick thought he was going to escape with a win, but when your tight end and quarterback combine for 0.1 points, that usually means you're fucked, which is exactly what happened when Jacob and Brees Lightning got going on Monday night, and he put up over 22 points to get the come from behind 126.7 to 123.5 win. Dolan's team is incredibly dependent on the Cowboys offense with a running back, wide receiver, and tight end, so when they combine for 0 touchdowns, you know you're in trouble. As you see, his highest scoring position was the Houston defense. Not great. With all of that, I'm able to easily cruise to a 105.25 to 73.9 victory. Tony had a balanced day across his roster despite having to leave James Cook in the lineup with the late scratch on Monday. He does come away with the 119.35 to 103.9 win over Simmons. And in the game of the week, Matt got off to a hot start on Thursday with Deebo and Kenneth Walker combining for over 40 points. Then Matthew came roaring back on Sunday with Joe Mixon and his kicker Chris Boswell. But in the end, it was Matthew who made the fatal bench mistakes to give Matt the 126.7 to 123.45 victory.
Hey guys, disappointing week. I'm in the top 2, getting killed by Jeff. What the fuck? But another news, it was like Tom Brady trying to take up the Raiders from the Studs since they can't seem to make a good choice ever. Getting rid of Davante Adams, sending him to the New York Packers. I was like, wild. But kind of like some of our bottom feeders Matthew bitching about how this is the best week he'll ever have playing against another bottom feeder. No shade, Matt. But anyway, it's time for your Sitter Sub of the Week segment. The Sib of the Week goes to Matthew, who had not one, but two potential game-winning decisions. Unfortunately for him, he picked incorrectly by going with Justice Hill, who had 1 point over either Alan Lazard, who had 23.4 points, or Damian Pierce, who had 17 points on his bench. Either one of these would have been enough to give him the win over Matt. The Sub of the Week goes to Jesse with a waiver wire pickup of Darius Slayton. His 6 catches for 57 yards was the type of cushion he needed to give him the win over Goody. Well, this has been unofficially brought to you by Beach Deli Midtown, where Aloha is served daily.
Looking ahead to next week, Tony hoping that Davante Adams can breathe some life into his fantasy team, as well as the Jets taking on myself, who's looking for answers at wide receiver. Matthew and Simmons face off in the true first Yuck for Yellow battle. The loser here will find themselves in a deep hole for the remainder of the season. Jesse hopes that Devin Singletary remains sidelined this week as he goes up against Dolan, who looks for Cooper Kupp to provide a spark on offense. Val needs to keep riding Lamar Jackson, while Matt looks to make it 2 wins in a row with Justin Jefferson coming back from his bye week. Jacob might be able to eke out a win against Nick, but will have his work cut out against Goody. And in the game of the week, Nick has 2 stud running backs in Bijan Robinson and Derrick Henry that he hopes have huge weeks, while Jeff is 5-1 and feeling confident that he can match that with Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara. This could be a high-scoring affair from both squads. Let's see how it unfolds. So as we look ahead to Week 7 in the NFL, we've got Denver and New Orleans on Thursday. That's an unfortunate primetime game, followed up with the Patriots and the Jaguars in the early morning slot Sunday morning. Then the 49ers have a Super Bowl rematch against the Kansas City Chiefs. That could be entertaining. Chiefs coming off a bye, 49ers getting that mini bye with the Thursday game. They need to really find a way to beat the Chiefs, even if it's in the regular season. The Jets will then take on the Steelers in the Sunday night slot. So once again, putting the Jets in prime time. This time, actually, we will get an opportunity to see the Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers hookup. Then we have the odd doubleheader again on Monday with the Ravens and the Buccaneers, followed up with the Chargers and the Cardinals. So not a big fan of the 2 games on Monday, but it is what it is. So hope you all have a wonderful week. Best of luck, and Commissioner out.